Hello, beautiful ladies. This week I want to talk about relationships issues. Should I stay or should I go? And first of all, you are not alone. So many women struggle with the feeling that their relationship sucks. And I'm talking here specifically male-female relationships. No sex, no passion, no intimacy, or when there is sex, then still not feeling that deep connection that you crave for, exhaustion from the feeling of doing it all alone, this deep sadness, this, deep anger, and also, the career and being a mother and taking care of the household. It's deeply draining patterns where that where you hold on to what has been said in the past, but also patterns of resentment, patterns of blaming, criticizing, emasculating your partner, and at the same time also not standing in your own power and blaming him for it, or indirectly blaming him for it. That feeling of being broken, and that deep feeling of, and it's a really deep feeling of I am not good enough. And I hear you, I feel you. Relationships are such complicated things with so many different aspects, so many different energies, so many different patterns, so many different layers that are at play. And we carry the wounds of ourselves as a child, but also the wounds of our parents, and even the wounds of our grandparents, and so on. And we are living really close together in a relationship, and we're constantly stabbing in each other's wounds, opening each other's wounds, either completely unconsciously and sometimes even consciously, and lots of times also a mixture of the two. And then on top of that, the exhaustion of life, the exhaustion of raising children together, it has an effect on the relationship too. And when you are both standing in your power, and actually, it's all different. But when you're not standing both in your power, you're both spiraling, spiraling around, taking each other even more down and out of your power. And when you stand in your power, you're actually both supporting each other. You're both lifting each other up. You're spiraling upwards. And when you're spiraling downwards, when you're taking each other out of your power, this is exactly when fights happen and when they become really crazy. Two people who don't recognize themselves, they don't recognize each other, who are triggering the shit out of each other. Sorry for that word, but it's necessary. And constantly reopening those inner child wounds. And even the wounds that we carry from our parents that go, and our grandparents, and the wounds that go way back, and that are so deep. Wounds that we might not be aware of, and wounds that we are like completely blind from to see. But also all these wounds, they have a self-protection mechanism that is attached to it. So those patterns and this self-protection mechanism, they are run on automation. So even if you are fully aware of it, it is extremely hard to control it. And we are stuck in a relationship dynamic that is not working. It's an outdated model. It's we're desperately trying to keep living up to it, or to keep maintaining it, but everything is working. Everything is showing that it's not working. And it's not for nothing that 1 out of 3 relationships, or 1 out of 3 marriages, end up in a divorce. And then the other 2, they get to stay in the relationship. But that doesn't mean, or doesn't necessarily mean, that these 2 people are happy or that they have a great relationship. They didn't get divorced, but they might still be struggling. And most people that don't get divorced, they specifically stay together for the children. So, the question here is, what can I do? Like, what shall I try? Like, to make a change, to see if staying with my partner is worth it, or not, like, or to stay for my children's stability. Like, what can I do? What shall I try? What do I need to do? Like, what should I, should I stay or should I go? And you need to really dive deep here and to be completely, truly honest with yourself. It all depends what is true, what is your true desire, like what is true for you. And when you think that you know your true desire, feel into that desire and see what's beneath that. Why do you desire that? How does that desire make you feel? And can you connect with the emotions, the feeling, and the energy of that desire? Is that true? Is that true for you? Is that your truth? And, because trying to make it work is an extremely hard job. It's possible. It's absolutely possible. It can be done. It's not impossible. But it will ask a lot of you to fully stand in your own power, to know what it is that you really want in your relationship, to fully let go of the old way that you see your husband or your partner. So no more blaming, no more calling names, no more resenting him, no more picking fights, no more shaming, no more taking him out of his power, like verbally or, by your non-verbal communication or your energy. It takes full dedication from you to know what you want from him, to know what you need from him, and knowing how you want your relationship to be like, and then to communicate about it, talking to him about it, letting him know what it is that you want and that you need and why you need it that way. And also to be prepared to have that conversation every week, or maybe, in some cases, every other day. You cannot fall back into your old patterns. And knowing that it will take time before your changed behavior will affect his behavior. Excuse me. But when you come from a place of upliftment, empowerment, softness, love, gentleness, and yet at the same time you also let him know in a soft and gentle and loving way exactly what you need in each moment. So you don't come from a place of manipulation or a place of threat or a place of irritation or anger, or even like a place of where you feel self-pity or you're seeing yourself as the victim. But you come from a place where you feel yourself as the powerful, loving queen that you are inside. And then everything will change. But if you can't do this, like sometimes, things are too broken to be fixed. So for example, if you drop a vase and a big pieces, are broken, you can still glue this together. And like you have this really beautiful special art form in Japan where they glue broken pottery together with a mixture of glue, or I don't know exactly what it is, but with gold. And then the vase becomes absolutely beautiful and unique, and it's whole again. But it takes patience, it takes dedication to puzzle it back together. But when the vase is broken, for example, in like millions of pieces, and they spread out, and some pieces you might not even be able to find anymore, then even for the most skilled person, to fix this vase is too much of a difficult task. And only you know the answer, if it's possible to fix or not. And, now you can say like, okay, I will just silently suffer and stay together for the sake of our children. But then you must ask yourself, like, is that really helping your children? What are you teaching your children by staying? Like, what messages are you giving them? Like, even unconsciously, even like without spoken words, like what messages do you send out? Like, how will that affect their own behavior later on in life? They will suffer in silence later on in life, and they will not choose to love themselves enough, dying with this sad heart. Like, that's not what you want for your children. The question is, like, what would your inner empowered warrior woman do? Like, what would she do? And you're then say, okay, we stay together for the children. Like, what do you teach your children by staying? Like, what would you be doing if you were fully in your power? And this can be a really good practice to just take some time and to actually write, because writing is structuring your thoughts in a different way that can give you really deep insight. So write about your reality. Write as if your deepest desire is already done. Like, write from your future self. That, what would your future self, like, if you already reached your goals, if you were already living from your deepest desire, where you already fully embody being the woman that you wish to be? Like, what would you tell your current self? Like, what kind of advice does your future self have to tell or have to share with your current you? Write about it. See what comes up. And then, even more importantly, are you giving yourself permission to have it? Where do you create rules instead of allowing yourself to have it? Sit with that, feel into that. And I know it's not easy, but now it's the time that no matter what you're doing, staying or leaving, it is time for you to step into your power, to live your desire, to allow yourself to feel that joy, to feel that pleasure, to feel that aliveness inside of you. And no matter, what's going on around of you, and that you living eternal life is the greatest gift that you can give to your children. Thank you for watching.